You are now listening to the most electrified and vilified podcast on the net, Hot Topix Podcast. Let's get this party started. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hot Topix Podcast. I'm Psycho 4081.
I'm Lamb Chop.
And the chosen name for me, which is not my name.
Juicy.
Whatever.
I think you're going to be stuck with that one now. I think you're just going to be
The
juicy.
notorious Felonious Feather.
Just felonious feathers.
International criminal at large.
Whatever.
You know what? She is not Carmen San Diego.
How you guys doing today?
I'm doing. How you doing?
Good.
And some of us had to go to work. Some of us had to work, actually work.
Facts.
Hey, don't blame me.
Yes, I
Don't
had
blame
to
me.
work.
So there's a lot of stuff that went on this week.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I'm not sure we talked about joy.
If we didn't even talk about anything, we have something interesting to talk about, which is the eating of cats and dogs.
Yeah, we gonna get to that too. Oh
No, we did not.
Nelly.
Yeah, we
So-
did not talk about the loss of Frankie Beverly.
okay, yeah, Frankie Beverly.
Yeah.
He was what 70?
I don't know.
He was, I think, because he was around the same. I think he was the same age as my father, so I think he was born in 1946.
Oh,
I wish I should have pulled some stuff up for him, but yeah. And even the young kids these days, they know Frankie Beverly because
Absolutely.
I don't care what prom you're in, they're gonna play a Frankie Beverly song.
Yep.
Was it usually is the
Before I let go.
yes, Before I Let Go. Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
Or Joy and Pain.
Yep. So
He was 77.
77. Okay.
Yeah, legendary. And to piggyback on that, Tito Jackson died today, and he was 70.
Why are you people always killing everybody on our podcast? It's always dying.
Hey, it's remembrance. We're celebrating.
Oh my God.
We are absolutely celebrating.
Do you know
because
who-
these were great talents?
Exactly. Do you know who Tito Jackson was?
Yeah, it's one of the Jackson 5.
Oh,
Because you told me this morning.
I was all excited for a minute.
just like the Jackson Fives.
No. I said, I don't know who that is. You're like, oh, yeah, one of the Jackson. I'm like, oh, okay.
Tito was the one who didn't sing.
Oh.
He played the guitar.
Oh,
Mhm.
And he actually went on to become an accomplished studio engineer. I mean, a studio musician.
Oh, I didn't know
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They had some program I was watching, and I was like, "What, Tito? Okay." Everybody doing that little thing afterwards. So all of the Jackson Fives went on to do, different things. Except for I don't know about Jackie. That was the tallest one.
Right. Was he in
he's the oldest
the
one, too, I think.
Jacksons?
Yes.
Because at some point it was no longer the Jackson 5. It was just the Jacksons.
Right,
Because
so-
that's when Randy and Jermaine and
That was it. Randy joined. Jermaine actually stayed with Motown because he was married
to Barry Gordy's
daughter.
daughter. Right.
So yeah, the Jacksons, and the reason why they didn't have the Jackson 5 was because Motown owned it, or Barry Gordy owned that. He wouldn't let them have the name.
Oh.
Yep. So that was a little fight.
He's a little shady. We need to talk about that at some point. He was a little shady.
Yeah. He had a thing with Diana Ross too.
Mm-hmm.
All these things come out in the wash.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Diana Ross, she had a little thing with Smokey too.
I did not know that.
Yeah, his partner.
I did not know that.
His partner in crime. Yeah. But yeah, R.I.P. to Tito Jackson and Frankie Beverly.
Yes.
So, yep. So, a lot of things went on. Where's my trusty information device?
Yeah, a lot of things did go on this week.
They had the debate, the vice president. The presidential debate with former president, two-time
Oh my God. He has to put all these titles.
30-some-odd convicted felon responsible for sex offense and fraudulent and fraud. Got the fraud, 480 or 400 something $1 million fraud. Okay. Yeah, he had a debate with Vice President Kamala Harris.
What's her title too?
Her title is former senator, vice president, former prosecutor, which was odd because the prosecutor was actually going to debating the convict.
Oh, those are facts right there. Yeah, you can. Yeah,
facts. Can't dispute those.
Yeah,
but yeah, and the funny thing about it, I think it was not close, in my opinion.
right.
This was one of the debates where they had a moderator that was actually fact checking them.
Yes, yes.
Because kept going back and forth, like, hey, checking the facts. Where did they say that? They did not say that. Nobody heard that. Nobody said that. It has been checked that they did not say this. So stop making stuff up.
So literally, I think he had a lot of his statements was being, contradicted by the moderator. Yes, and so all the MAGA people was like, oh, they were being unfair. Well, he lies. So we mean they unfair. He lied
Continuously.
Yeah. And then the most famous lie of all, the immigrants, the Haitian immigrants in was it Springfield?
Yes.
Springfield, Ohio, were
correct.
stealing pets, cats and dogs, and eating them. Right. And then when he was fact checked on that, because the guy happened to call the mayor.
Yes. Is that happening?
It's like, no, they don't have any record of that. Is whatever. So he was like, well, I saw it on TV.
It's not
And
funny.
then
It's
the-
not funny.
The Vance guy was like, they had to make up stories to, yes, he said that they had to make on the news. I don't know, was it MSBC, whatever?
MSNBC.
Yes.
Okay.
Or something. They were interviewing him, and then he was saying, well, they made up stories to, because they had been making awareness and all of that. Nobody was listening, so they had to come up with stories.
Oh, so he admitted he purposely lied.
Well, that's the Vance guy, not Trump.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Not Trump. Yes.
He just looked like an angry
Bird.
Angry bird.
angry, uneducated old man.
Yes.
And if it was a Democrat doing all of those things,
Right.
they will be asking them
Right.
to step down.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he looked like he was rattled.
Mm-hmm. Which he was.
He kept going he never answered any new questions.
Ever.
All over the place. And this is one of the most funniest things, because they called him out on his healthcare plan, because he's like, we're gonna have something that's gonna be really, really
It's gonna be
big,
great.
the
Okay,
best ever.
It's the best ever. It's
said-
going to be great.
He said, well, what is actually your plan? How are you going to implement it? He says, well, I have a concept.
It's the same thing with his energy plan. They were talking about his energy plan, and he's like, what is it? And he could not tell them because he doesn't have one.
Yeah. And then one of the things he was talking about Obama's healthcare thing, he was like, well, it was a terrible, terrible thing, and we left it. Mind you, I think they tried to get rid of it 60 some odd times,
they
right?
did.
And then he came up with, well, if we come up with something better, we'll implement it.
Yeah.
So you just admitted that you couldn't come up with anything better.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was
And he said he was never going to. He's not going to debate her again. There's not going to be.
Yeah. well, I wouldn't debate somebody that made me look like a fool again. Like, oh no.
Yeah, but the MAGA people was like, well, yeah, I think that's what he said. He said, I think I won. All the polls showed that I won. And they were saying, yeah, 70-90% of the people said that I'm the winner.
Okay.
I was like, because another person said that, because they regurgitate what he says, right?
Right, pretty much.
So I just went through and got all the ones from ABC, CNN, also in the post. Like everybody said, even Republican pundits, conservative pundits, I would say, said that he lost and it was an embarrassment, and and he lost some endorsements from it was somebody that actually after the debate.
Oh, wow.
They saw on the debate, they pulled back their support.
Okay, my question is, he's been saying the same things all along. Why do you think all of a sudden he looks like an idiot? Like, why are you just... I shouldn't say that. That's not nice.
No,
I'm
I'll
just
say it for
saying
you then.
he didn't look presidential to me.
Right.
That's what I'll say.
And he's never looked presidential. He's always
no.
he cannot stop name calling.
Right.
And it's like
Because
a
he's
big
a little kid, right?
just
on
having the tantrum.
On the schoolyard.
That's to me is anyway. I how I feel about him. He's like really unfit, and not just because I say it. Just statistically, all the things that he's been involved in, the things that he says, he's not presidential. And she capitalized on everything.
Yeah, she did. She went for that jugular. She was not playing with him.
And didn't she mention his felony convictions?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
I wish she would have picked him, because you can get him rattled up real fast.
I think she did rattle him.
Yeah.
I think she did, and that's why he won't debate her again. But he probably said that they're not going to debate again because everybody was unfair to him.
When earned they weren't.
Yeah. Everybody is always unfair to him. So, mommy, they picking on me.
Well, and the thing is, if you're that, your personality, you're always calling. Everybody has a nickname. Was it Sleepy Joe?
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What was it? Comrade Kamala. And it was always something. So, anyway.
Yes, we'll move on.
Yeah. Feds say leaders of white supremacist groups solicited assassinations and attacks. Did we say that one? What was that from? This was 7 days ago. CBS News.
So who tried to shoot him again?
Yeah, I heard that.
I think that's still under investigation.
I think the person
they arrested somebody. Yeah.
So it's still under investigation. They still have to do an investigation. But they said that he had a AK-47 style assault rifle with the scope.
What is or the shooters that cannot? Okay, I'm sorry.
But they said they saw the barrel come out from the bushes, and I heard shots. That's what they said. They said I heard shots fired, and then I guess they had actually fired too. But he came out alive. Obviously, didn't kill him.
Yeah.
But it's just as much. Let me say this. I don't advocate for any violence
at all.
Regardless of political affiliation, whatever. I do make fun of people on here because it's fun. But
and we're gonna whoop your ass one day.
So, even the MAGA people, I make fun. Is no disrespect intended, but sometimes you gotta step back from all that and get a grip of yourself. There's no reason. I don't care what he says or whatever. There's no reason to kill the man.
Right.
Because we're gonna miss him.
No, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna miss him. I'm definitely not gonna say that. But I'm gonna say, we should, as a society, we should not resort to political violence or any type of violence when it comes to,
Right.
So let me just throw that out there, and I'll get back to talking bad about him after this.
This was my thing. Like, everybody said, there's no place for violence. That's not who we are. And I'm like, did y'all just forget that these kids got shot in school not too long ago? Like, this is who we are. This is absolutely who we are. And if you won't regulate gun control, these are the things that happen. There's no reason why he should have an AK.
But they said the to combat the gun violence is to get more guns.
No.
Is to arm more people.
No.
That's their answer to it. And that's what the little video that I put out where they asked the guy. It was at a Trump rally too. He got their people saying, "Oh, the answer is more guns." He was like, the one guy said, "You can't fight a fire with water. You got to fight fire with fire." And the guy said, "Well, that's how they do it." You see? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's why you guys got to get out there and vote, regardless of what anybody says. Please
register
get out there and
vote.
Yeah. But it was a few quick stories in here that I, found interesting. That was what is this one here? This is U.S. U.S. Appeals Court confirms district court decision on transgender sports bans.
Yeah, I saw that.
So if I could recall, they confirmed it where they were allowed to participate. Mm-hmm. I think we had a episode about that, and I'm saying this just because it came up. They separated men and women's sports because of biological reasons.
Correct.
So if you're still a biological male, you should be in a biological male sport.
Correct.
Unless you want to combine all and put everybody together, saying that it doesn't matter because of their biology, then outside of that, transgender women, you can identify however you want, but the sports are separated by biology, not by who you identify as. So
I have no comment. Because we'll go back and forth about this all night.
Well, like I said, the easy thing is for them just to not make sports separated by the genders. So if women, they want to, play football, they can try out. Basketball, they can try out, and see what happens. I'm sure that would make 2 women in the NBA. That was a dig towards women, by the way.
Absolutely, it was. And I'm just going to let it go. And we're going to go to the next story.
No,
That's what we're going
all right,
to
so
do.
let me ask you, aside from that, do you think any woman can actually participate in the NBA? But these are not like, all right, if I got 5 of my guys to go up against the college players or even the USA women's basketball team, I ain't gonna say we're gonna win. I'm gonna admit that we're probably not gonna win, and we'll probably lose big. However, you're talking about the NBA, or really all the people in the NBA were superstars in college,
right?
In an NBA you got super duper stars.
True.
So I don't see them, at any position throwing somebody in there that's a woman to compete with the men. That's not in basketball. Maybe in some other sports, tennis. Maybe table tennis, volleyball.
Yeah, we need to get off this subject and just move right along. Because
All right, let's see. Fox's Tarloff reminds co-hosts Trump released 5,000 Taliban prisoners, including terrorists. He never wants to talk about that. So he always think, oh, we made the best deal and they released such and such. But yeah, this is 5,000 Taliban prisoners that was released during his administration, and they don't mention anything. But that's not really much to talk about. It's some of the hypocrisy along with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
So you have any weird news?
No. Am I the weird woman?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
So, as you all know, the NFL season kicked off, right?
Okay. I do not follow football, so
For you guys out there, week 2 is already completed. We're going into week 3.
And your TV is still in the box.
And
I thought that was the whole purpose of that.
I don't know.
Where your mom?
For y'all who don't know, Psycho has like a 85-inch TV for
85-inch
football watching. That's in the box.
That still not unboxed yet.
I don't have it. I didn't buy it.
It's in your place of residence.
Yeah, we're gonna have some good games on there, but I only mentioned the football season because the Ravens are 0-2.
Oh, okay.
Let's throw that out there. Ravens are winless.
Nobody
this season.
cares. Well, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that.
You
I'll
know
say
where
I
you
don't
live.
care.
They're gonna come get you.
And I know all the people coming to get me too because I said I didn't care. Yeah, go Ravens. What am I gonna say about that?
All right. So, celebrity news. Anything long celebrity news?
Although, the passing of Frankie and Tito.
That's right. We mentioned that. And then, what was it? It was this rapper from Georgia just got arrested in this $200 million drug bust.
Holy!
I had never heard of the guy, to be honest, but obviously he's somebody because he's been on tour with different people. Rich Homie Quan, who just passed away, and some other, one of the Southern rappers.
$200 million. I'm past who the rapper is. I'm just stuck on $200 million.
Yeah. So they had
drugs and money.
Well, that's $200 worth of. So they had fentanyl.
Jesus.
They had, and there's over a key of everything. I mean, someone was like 57 keys of this and 1,000 pounds of this. It was crazy. They had marijuana, a little bit of heroin. They had cocaine, and I believe it was guns. I'm not sure
you have to have guns if you got all of that going on.
Yeah, but it was $200 million worth of drugs.
Good gracious. Just
That's talking about a party.
You know what?
Now I forgot the guy's
I'm
name.
thinking of all the overdoses and harm that could create.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, whatever they get, they deserve. So that's crazy.
So I wanted to say that. Okay, you want to say? So I wanted to say this. Biology says.
Who?
79.5% of your child's brain comes from the mother.
How much?
Really?
79.5%. So, look at your wife. Now, are your kids safe? What do you think? That's a good one.
Wow.
So, yeah. So,
I don't agree with that.
No.
I don't.
yeah,
agree.
I've heard that the kids' intelligence comes from their mom. What is that?
I don't know. I feel like
No. All right. So let me tell you, people. We got food today, and somebody's just hard headed. I gave her a bean pie, a little smidgen of a bean pie, just so she can taste it, and so she can
try something new.
So I have news.
It's still sitting on your plate.
It says, what's the weirdest thing society accepts as normal? What's the weirdest thing? Do you have anything?
I have no idea.
The weirdest thing that people
accept as normal.
Honestly, religion.
You know what?
It is the walking on water.
Someone says
Blood.
paparazzi. You're telling me we'll all deem it acceptable to make a living off of photographing other people without their consent and following them around as they live their lives?
Nah, I don't think that's weird. I think they've done that in probably since forever. Maybe not with cameras.
Right, but it's not normal. That's what you're saying. Like
Yes,
we've
what is
normalized
weird?
it.
Like, yes.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying I think it's normal because we've always done it.
Okay, so someone says the question, what's the weirdest thing society accepts as normal? Wearing bikinis on the beach, but it's not okay to wear panties on the streets.
Okay.
And this is pretty much the same thing.
Exactly.
It really is.
Well-
or you can't be like just have your bra on and go into the store.
Well, but
If you have a bathing suit top on, it's okay.
but I you just say there's appropriate time and place for different things. So I don't even think that's weird.
Okay, another one. What's the weirdest thing society accepts as normal? Clothes. No other animal wears them.
Listen, when we were in Miami, there were some people that they were topless. The women were topless.
Some people.
And
A lot of people.
a lot of people.
Not her, though.
Definitely not me. Not at all. And you don't want to see that. It's just some things you just don't.
Lamb chop.
I didn't even want to see the old men in the Speedos.
Have you ever heard
So
of
it
When in
was
Rome?
covered up. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
just imagine him having sex.
Did you ever heard of When in Rome?
I absolutely have.
Why don't you do as the Romans did?
Because we weren't roaming on that beach. No. But, it was perfectly acceptable that they were just walking around topless. And I'm just like, oh, my God, please put a top on. Like, some things we shouldn't see.
Another one would be, what's the weirdest thing society accepts as normal? Taking your shoes off at the airport because of that one guy.
Right. I think that's insane. I really do think that's insane.
Yeah.
Have they found any devices since him?
Probably not.
So why we keep doing this?
Because the one time that you don't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this. With airlines, I don't care about all that. Because you know what? It's not. If you're in the air, I don't care if they have people put on handcuffs, strap them down. I don't care. Because that's one of the times where you just can't mess up.
Right.
You know,
right.
and I don't even care. Do what you got to do.
Right. I'm in agreement with that.
Yeah,
you can't be messing around with this plane.
Exactly.
Y'all better take him down.
You're going to like this one because it says working 40 hours plus, 40 plus hours a week, a task we are not personally invested in, not the idea of working, period, because I think humans are industrious by nature, but the idea that we give so much of our time and energy to work that means nothing to us and aren't paid adequately in return.
Okay.
Yeah, that should not be normalized. Well, other countries don't work like we work.
Right.
They don't.
And there's some countries that work way worse than we do.
Yeah.
So I think we're in that happy, middle. Because they have in some European countries they have more sick. They got just better benefits.
Right. More sick
days,
leave
and they want you to have shorter working hours.
Right.
And then you got some other places that you work 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week for 12 hours with no overtime.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Found that out.
So another one says feel good stories about a 7-year-old child running a lemonade stand in an attempt to pay off their school students' lunch debt.
Aww.
People sell.
That is so sweet. That's going to be a good human being if people stay out of their way.
Yeah, that's the key.
Another one says, what's the weirdest thing society accepts as normal? The most likely cause of death for a pregnant person is not pregnant. It's not pregnancy-related complications. It's homicide.
Yep, it's their husband normally.
What?
Because of
the
death.
pregnant women are more likely to get killed by their husbands than anything.
Really?
Yes. They are like the highest homicidal rate is pregnant women and their husbands.
I think this is my favorite. Needing to buy a 20K to 100K vehicle just so that you can leave the house.
Yeah, I'm not big on that. Like I want it to be decent. Like I want my car to be decent. I don't have to have the biggest and the best, and I don't need to spend all that money. I just want it to be decent.
You can just walk.
Yeah, nobody's doing that.
What?
Or ride a bicycle.
Oh no, I'm not doing that. Especially when I'm paying a car note and car insurance. I'm not doing that either. I can't afford broken bones.
He's there to catch you.
I will catch you. I will
Catch
Broke
you from
back
front.
over here.
From front.
I will catch
From the
you.
front.
Broke
from the
back
front.
over
From the front
here.
or the back.
Both.
You're so gross. Not just that. I can see you now. Both of us on the ground. My back. Yeah, thanks for the catch.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So let's take a break for our word from our sponsor.
Oh my God.
In a world filled with fear and uncertainty, one thing is clear. You never know what might happen next. What if you were abducted by aliens? Introducing Galactic Guard, your ultimate alien abduction insurance. With Galactic Guard, you're covered for all alien encounters. Abduction? No problem. We've got you. Unwanted experiments? No problem. We got you there too. Even if they return you with a new hairstyle, we will help you get back on your feet. With comprehensive plans that include reimbursement for lost wages during your intergalactic vacation, coverage for alien-related medical exams, and even a personalized welcome back kit. Don't let the unknown keep you up at night. Protect yourself and your loved ones with Galactic Guard. Call today and get a free quote, because when it comes to the unknown, it's better to be prepared. All right.
Call today, but there's no number.
I'm gonna fight you so hard.
Call today is 443-860-2716. Okay, that's Galactic
Is that supposed
Guard.
to be our podcast?
Yes.
Listen, I am not co-signing any of this shenanigans, nonsense, and foolishness. I am not.
Daddy need new shoes.
I am not co-signing any of this.
So, we ready for our controversial
topic of the day? Yes.
So today the question was, that we asked this on social media too. Mm-hmm. Are you for or against the death penalty? So we're going to talk about the death penalty and give you some interesting facts about it,
right?
And see how some of the people feel. And I was listening to some of the comments on it. Okay. Not listening, I was reading it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, everybody pretty much made some type of sense that, I said, well, I can see that.
Pro and con.
Pro
Okay.
and con.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really about nobody's wrong. That's what I got. I mean, nobody's really wrong about it. I think everybody pretty much can say in certain circumstances, they give it a little bit more thought.
Right. Yeah, I give it a lot of thought. And like I said last time when we started this, I give it a lot of thought because so many people have been put to death and weren't guilty. So it's hard to condemn someone and put them to death when they tell you have all the facts, but you don't really know if you have all the facts.
Right.
So that's pretty hard. So you have some statistics about it?
Yeah, they also figured this too, that it's been found that the prosecution that withheld some evidence.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So some of the things we pulled up now, just to identify what the death penalty, if you guys don't know what the death penalty is basically a sentence that you get. They call it a capital punishment for certain crimes. And usually it's like a murder or something along those lines, so, but I'm not sure they've had death penalty sentences for things other than murder. Now you can get it for like, rape, things like that. But the U.S. is one of the few countries where the death penalty is legal. But here it really is dependent on the different states.
Right.
So,
right.
Let's see. 6 states outlawed capital punishment between 2010 and 2021. Other states stopped performing executions due to a governor's order or a Supreme Court ruling. Now, the number of executions are also falling nationwide after reaching a peak of 98 in 1999. And they're declined in 16 of the following 22 years. So I think public opinion is changing.
Right.
And we'll pull up some things about that. So Maryland, the state, I think we have a moratorium. I don't think that we're doing the death penalty anymore. Governor O'Malley actually did the moratorium, but I think it was lifted.
Really?
I think it was. Because you can't have a moratorium for forever.
Yeah.
But so Supreme Court actually, determined what was legal and what was not, whether they considered the death penalty a cruel and unusual punishment. And I guess that really meant the type of how you get it done.
Okay, the way you're executed.
The way you execute it. But I know each state has that ability to determine. So let's see, 1972, the Georgia Supreme Court ruled effectively banned the death penalty by saying the methods used were a violation of the 8th Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment. So that was obviously, when you get to that, it has it vibrates throughout the other states.
Right.
But I'm trying to think, what did they use back then? I'm going to guess it was probably the firing squad.
It's 70 what,
72.
72. You think?
Yeah, they didn't say. See, the court's decision led to procedural reforms for states in the new Supreme Court rulings. In 76, the court ruled that Georgia, Texas, and Florida, no surprise there,
right,
had made suitable revisions to the death penalty, so it was no longer a cruel and unusual punishment. State-level executions resumed in 77, while the federal government did not reestablish the death penalty until 1988.
Well, the death penalty in Maryland was abolished in 2013.
Oh, really?
Yes. Recent homicide arrest data confirms that black offenders are the largest group of arrestees, and 80% of homicide victims are black individuals.
Okay. Well, I saw a little bar graph that kind of was stood out. Let me go to this bar graph. And this was the number of people. Prisoners on death row are disproportionately likely to be black. So they had the percentage of the population. Mm-hmm. So for white, I guess, prisoners, they were 76. I wonder if that's share of overall population. They were 76.3%, and the share of death row population was 56.5. Black people were 13.4. That must be the overall population,
right?
13.4%, but 41.1% of the death penalty or death row population.
Well, you got to remember too that African Americans do get arrested disproportionately, right. So that's part of it.
So out of the 4 groups, they had white, black, American Indian, Alaska Native, altogether. Then they had the Asian, Native, Hawaiian, and Pacific Islanders. Black population was the only population that actually had a higher percentage of death row inmates than the percentage of the population, and it's by far 41 to 13%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Again, another reason for me to not agree all the time with the death penalty. Like I said, I can't 100% say I don't agree with it, because like we said, there are those cases like the Jeffrey Dahmers of the world that you just like, why are we keeping him alive? He admits to killing all of these people. Right. It's just time to let him go. And he's the kind of person who could never be let back into society. So why? Yeah.
Okay. So, do you know who Jeffrey Dahmer is? Polonius?
Can we move on?
I was asked, did you know? I mean, because that was probably before your time.
Whatever.
I don't know if he was born by then.
Whatever.
But
What?
yeah, but Jeffrey Dahmer was what, the
80s, 90s? Oh,
I don't remember. I'm thinking the 90s.
I just want to
So I
lay
wasn't born in
down.
the 90s.
He was born in
I just
1990.
wanna
He
lay
was-
down.
Whatever.
But anyway, all right. So
He died in 1994.
94. Oh, he
Right.
died in 94.
Yeah, he was beaten
But
by
he was
another
beaten to
prisoner.
death, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So okay. So that means he must have been committing them in the freaking late 80s,
Yeah.
right?
Ugh.
So, Felonious, what are your personal beliefs regarding the death penalty?
Like she said, I feel like in some cases, I think, like, according to death, there's manslaughter, there's what are those things? Different
Degrees.
Different degrees, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So,
manslaughter is what you're responsible for, but you didn't have any criminal intent.
okay, yeah, that I don't think that
Okay.
deserves a
So premeditated murder,
correct.
you would.
You thought it out. You planned it.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes. I would think yes,
Okay.
that deserves. Nobody deserves. What? How are the people killing the person too? It's kind of also like sentencing someone to death as well.
Right.
It's like the same thing, killing somebody. But
Well, the jury sentences most places.
In most places. Well, some people just do a judge trial, right? So
Yes.
would the judge be
You
the
gotta be
one
a colossal
responsible?
idiot to do a judge trial with a capital
I'm
murder
not
trial.
saying that they're right, but some
Oh, yeah,
people do
okay,
it.
yeah,
so
yeah.
the judge would be
Judge
the one
would-
to
right.
hand down that sentence.
Okay. That would be something.
No. I don't know.
and I wonder how, like, if it's like death by hanging or by the chair. And I don't
Yeah,
even know why
it's-
we have different types of those.
So throughout the years, they had different things.
Mm-hmm.
Firing squad is old. Hanging is probably the oldest, right?
Yeah, hanging
so you had
is
the
the
hanging,
oldest.
then you had obviously the invention of the gun. So you had the firing squad, then
The
more
electric
technology,
chair.
electric
Yeah.
chair,
Mhm.
and then they went to
Lethal
lethal
injection.
injection. I don't think we ever had the beheading here.
Oh, jeez.
So what's the point of then having like a religious person, like a pastor or an imam, come in to say, hey,
They give them last rites.
Yeah, give them your last rites, basically to save your soul
Mm-hmm.
before I guess to
and then
I
give
guess
you
to redeem.
your wishes, whatever you want to eat,
Yes.
your favorite
Yeah.
food, your
Yeah.
everything. Like, okay,
I
I
guess
don't know
that's
how
the
do
way.
you eat.
I don't know how you
knowing that you're gonna die the next day.
I'm like,
give me everything.
I'm like, I'm gonna order enough food to last me another year, and I'm gonna eat slow. Matter of fact, give me a big bowl of rice.
You know what? What you gonna do? Eat it a grain at a time.
That's right. That's what I would do. One grain at a time.
They don't care. Your scheduled date, your
Exact
scheduled
time
time.
is your
Yeah.
So you get to eat until your time is up.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
And sometimes, they've been wrong. Like the judgments have been
Yes.
wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and
so have they ever been wrong in a capital murder case, a premeditated murder?
well, no, sure, I don't think so.
I'm sure
They were probably wrong.
they've had cases where somebody's been found guilty of first degree murder, and then
Later on,
What
you
is
can
it?
find
What
out.
is first
first-degree murder, that's premeditated. You actually thought it out, and
Decide
What
to
is
do.
second degree?
second degree is something that just without what they call without malice of forethought, meaning
Okay, like yeah.
So
just-
you could be in a fight with someone and then a person dies.
Yes.
So
Okay.
then what's manslaughter?
manslaughter means you was responsible for it. Could be for recklessly, right?
Like driving.
mhm.
Driving, or you didn't intend to kill the person. It just kind of happened.
So what's the difference between that and second degree?
Well, you intended to commit harm on somebody. You get me? Like, all right, let me give you an example. So,
Like if we're fighting, anybody you want
you-
to
when
harm
you
me,
fight,
I want to
you
harm
wanna-
you. We'll
yeah.
both-
but you're not trying to kill somebody when you're fighting.
No,
Right.
but you might
But-
be
but
planning
you-
to harm them. In
Yeah,
some kind of
but
way.
you're like, if you're fighting and you punch somebody in the face and they go fall back and knock, hit their head on
Is that manslaughter?
Your actions cause it. It could be manslaughter, depending on how they.
And then sometimes they just have all this list of guilty of second degree murder, guilty of third degree, fourth degree,
every
10th degree.
Every state is different.
Degree.
Their laws are different. How they code it. So they may have something crazy like murder, manslaughter. They got one called felony murder.
Oh wow! I've never heard of that before.
Felony murder is when let's say you and Lamb Chop is out there.
Don't call me. No.
You go rob a bank.
No, not me.
Lamb Chop shoots the guard. The guard dies. She committed murder. Obviously,
Right.
you're going to get felony murder because
Go away from
you guys were
together.
committing the felony and
together.
somebody died. Yeah, so that happens too.
I wanna play something because they
Sentence you to 2,500 consecutive life sentences plus 1,000 years. Once you pass away, you will receive an attempted escape charge with an additional 200 years being added to your sentence, which you will begin serving in the afterlife once you get to hell. Should you be reincarnated after your death and return to Earth as another person, you will be arrested at birth and you will spend your entire next life in the state penitentiary.
Is that real? That can't be real. That can't be
real because they had a video and everything, so I don't know.
God, that can't be real. That cannot. Oh my goodness. But I often wonder, like, when they give somebody, like, you're sentenced to 25 years for murder and then another, like, 30 years for something else.
Yeah, how do
and
they
I'm just like,
combine
why are they giving 25 years is enough?
sentences,
Like,
yeah.
why are they adding 30
so
years?
there's two things. So if you get sentenced for 25 years,
Don't say if I get. Just say if you get.
I didn't say you. I said just
in general,
excuse
if
me.
the person,
if one gets sentenced to 25 years in prison and they get another 25 or 30 years in prison, they could either run consecutively or concurrently.
Now I get that confused.
Right. So concurrently is when it's all at
Together.
the same time.
Together.
Right.
Okay.
And consecutive
It's
is
separate.
one after the other.
So the intent is you'll serve 55 years in jail.
Yes.
And
Now,
you know
That's
that
insane.
also the jail calendar is different. I think it's earlier than the normal calendar.
no. So what happens is, like, say if you get 25 years,
Right.
and let's say you're doing it concurrently, you might be able to get out earlier on this one,
right.
But then you
But you still have to serve the
right,
other.
or you might get out on both. So just because you get 25 years doesn't mean you're going to serve 25 years.
Right.
You might serve 12.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, if you get
How does that even work though? So 25 years is not their 25 years.
right, so there's ways that
Maybe
they
they count 2 days as one or 3 days as one in prison
no.
because it's hardship.
well, you get time for good behavior, stuff like
Right.
that, and you also they'll tell you, they might even sentence you up 25 years in prison, and you're not eligible for parole until your ninth
Certain
year,
yeah.
or your 10th year, something
Right.
along those lines. So you
Right.
do come up before a parole board, you know. Also, that even when you get a life sentence, a life sentence might be 25 years.
Right.
So
Oh.
she had a flashback.
You know what?
But yeah, so you get, if you say I got a life sentence, that might be 25 years.
Right.
So every place is different.
Yeah.
So, but as far as the people, those like the guys who did those kidnappings, I think they were Latino guys some years back, and they got like 700 some odd years.
Yeah, like why? Just why?
Because if he gave them a life sentence, the life sentence might be 25 years, right?
Okay.
But if he gives them, and here's another thing too. When you get those sentences, you're getting them for different charges.
Right.
So if they come back and say, like, you know, they're in trial or some technicality, they get off on this one.
But you still have those
You still have the
other
other ones. Yeah, it's kind of like a safeguard almost, you know.
to make sure you stay in jail.
Yes. Like now, take R. Kelly, for example.
Oh, geez. Do we have to?
You know, he got enough time that says if he gets out, he's going to be very old, very, very old, right?
He should be.
But
But we'll see.
Right.
so
That's
How
a
about Bill
whole
Cosby?
um
It was old in prison.
yeah, he was 80 something. I don't even remember if he's out. Is he out?
yeah, he
Yeah.
got
Oh,
out.
he's out.
He got
Okay.
out.
All right. Now, do you believe the death penalty is a moral form of punishment?
I don't want to put morality
Yeah,
in
into-
that.
yeah,
I really
it's-
don't.
Eye for an eye, tooth for tooth.
Yeah,
Head for head.
right. I hear that. And I hear people say that, if you steal, chop their hand off. But
Or how about this? What is the ultimate thing you could rob somebody of?
their life.
Their life. You can't get that back. So you take
Right.
somebody's life, and you go on to do whatever years, and you live your life. It's kind of like where's the equity
So
in
you
that?
saying giving a life for a life?
Yeah, I'm just saying that's just one of the thoughts. I'm not saying that I personally
Right,
believe in it, but I'm
right.
saying that's one of the thoughts in that.
Right.
You know.
What they say, an eye for an eye makes all of us blind.
Yep. Hey, sometimes you need blind people walking around here.
Well, an eye
We have
for an
enough
eye.
blind people walking around.
An eye for an
here.
eye. You still have one eye left.
What was okay? So you making me.
Oh, dear. You said an eye for an eye makes everybody blind, but then there's still one eye left. I hate you.
Are
You are a
saying-
mess. You are a mess. So I was saying that you had me rewatching Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And I'm in the second season. But I know this is a little bit off topic, but Arya saved some prisoners or something. They were
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
And the guy, when she saw him again, said, "You saved 3 lives. I owe you 3 lives."
Yes. Yes.
So, in that sense, I don't know. Like, you took a life, you owe me a life. Basically, that's what I felt like he was saying.
Yeah. So basically, they're saying like, you're marked for death. That's your destiny. That is, you owe the many-faced God these lives.
Right.
These lives are marked for death. So because you saved these lives, somebody has to die. Has to die, right? So he's given her the option of since she's
Who's going to do it, right?
Yes.
Right.
And you know what? Again, if she said eye for an eye makes everybody blind, but how can if you rob somebody of the ultimate gift and you're still running? Where's the equity in that?
Yeah. There is no equity in that.
So
there
you
is
do
no
you do
equity in
20. They give you 25 years for a murder. You get out in 12, and you lived your life while your parents or the parents or loved ones or whoever are
Still mourning.
Yes.
They're going to be mourning for the rest
Forever.
of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of their
So
lives.
and I see that part too.
Right.
But
it's just so hard. It's so hard because you have this set of people over here mourning for the person they lost. You kill, you execute this person because they did the crime. So now you have this whole set of people over here mourning their loss. So I don't know. It is so hard. It really is. At least for me, it's difficult.
I'm not going to say it's easy. I think it's easy in some cases.
Right.
Because some people, you're a threat to humanity.
Right.
And I guess you
Agreed.
could still say, well, we'll lock them up forever.
Right.
And maybe that's more of a punishment.
And
the easy way out.
Yeah, some victims' parents or a family says, "No, I don't want them executed. I don't
Right.
want the death penalty on the table. I want them to think about what they did for the rest of their lives."
Right.
So
Not everybody has that kind of moral.
true.
Even thinking about what they did for the rest of their life,
True.
you'd be shocked that the person would commit another murder. So,
Right. I agree. Some people would just be like, "Whatever,"
I mean, hell no. I'm vengeful, so. I'm
You
that's-
said you're vengeful. Now, do you think that the death penalty is a deterrent for crime?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely, because if it was, we still wouldn't have all of this crime.
Exactly.
Well, a lot of places are getting rid of the death penalty.
Because it's not a deterrent for crime.
All right, Felonious. If you knew that you can be killed,
Don't know. I'm not doing anything.
Because-
I didn't say no.
that would be a deterrent for you.
No.
It wouldn't?
If I knew, I'm scared of death. So,
Yeah, like I don't want to go. Listen, it's things that's right now deterring me, and it don't have anything to do with
exactly.
the death penalty.
Nobody thinks about that. It's just your
Yeah.
normal morals. Like
I don't wanna go to
you don't wanna-
jail.
Exactly. I don't want
I
to.
think
I don't want to put myself there. I don't want to risk it.
Right,
Like
right.
if I say they're not gonna kill me and they kill me, or maybe.
I think
you know
for
what I'm
some
saying?
people they'll second guess doing certain things.
Well, people are different, correct?
Yeah.
Because you can go to prison and have a total
Yeah,
healthy life.
Yeah.
I'm sure nobody even thinks that far.
Oh,
Like,
I'm sure they do.
They do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like
they do.
when you
before
want
they
to
commit the crime.
Yeah, that's
is
what
what
I'm
you're
saying.
saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Depends on the crime, though. If
So-
it's like cyber fraud or what, all this kind of fraud or stuff
Well,
like
you're not
that.
getting a death penalty for that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just
But
saying.
I'm saying, like, if somebody, all right, let's, for example, a police officer pulls over a drug dealer, right? Or somebody who just robbed somebody. And
He hot tonight.
somebody pulls over somebody who just robbed on a traffic stop. So they're not going to jail for any reason. So what happens? He says, okay, well, I'm not going to shoot this cop because I don't want to get the death penalty, but I need to get away. I'm just going to do X, Y, and Z. I think those situations come into the
you
To
think
play.
at certain times people do think about what they're going to do before they do it, or rather not they're going to get the death penalty before they do it.
I think so.
I'm sure nobody thinks about death penalty as anything. Like, that's probably the least. And then you think, oh, I'm going to get a lawyer. I'm going to appeal.
Oh, now, I'm gonna tell you why. I think sometimes when you go to court, some of the defendants will take a plea so they don't face the death penalty.
Right?
So
right.
I mean, not that it deterred them
in the first place.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
In
So
the
okay,
first place,
we'll say no. You say no.
I don't think it deters crime at all. I really don't. I really don't.
Let's see. But how would they even? I don't even think they can quantify that. Or
Right.
bring up
How
anything.
do you figure out whether or not it deterred crime?
Hmm.
I know one thing. Texas is cooking and booking them. They don't care. They are just like, we are rolling and don't come down here committing no crime because we gonna fry you.
Exactly.
They are not playing.
All right, you know who was the first southern state? It's always the southern states are a little bit more strict on that one, but the first southern state to ban the death penalty.
Maybe Florida? I don't even know if that's a state.
Florida.
No, not
No,
Florida.
I wouldn't say Florida.
North Carolina?
Nope.
I don't even know where a southern state is.
But
where the
Maryland
north,
and below.
right?
Maryland and below.
Maryland and
I'm
below.
sure at the north.
No, this is technically the south.
South, yeah.
It is the south.
It is technically.
Would it be
People
the
don't
South?
want to believe that it is.
Right.
But they say it's in the
It's
north.
the South.
though.
No,
it's South.
we had slaves. It's the South.
So that would be like what? New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Pennsylvania.
No,
That's
no,
the
no, no.
North.
Oh. Then how come why not the north? They're close to us.
Because you don't know where the states are.
It's not your fault. Don't stop it. Stop picking
All
on
right, so
her.
can I say she's not from this country, so
What
you know.
they can obviously tell. You don't have to tell them.
It's actually Virginia
Really?
in 2021.
2021?
2021.
So they were still doing it up until then.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yep.
How about Maryland?
Jeez.
Well,
Maryland stopped in 13.
2013.
2013.
Yeah, and that was after they had the moratorium. So okay, so technically it's actually earlier than that.
Right.
Okay, but legally, okay.
Right.
And it's even funny how people talking about people knowing the consequences or whatever. It's funny, even the normal jail time. It's funny how many people have gone back to jail. Like,
Yeah.
this is my seventh. No, not mine. Their seventh.
Right,
time,
I'll just
eighth
sit on
time.
that time. That people
You
have
know?
said, people will say it. I had a job working with Psycho, and basically I would do substance use evaluations on people. And this one gentleman did not want to do it, and he said he wasn't going to do it, and he said I will go back to jail and sit on this time. And I was just like, okay, I can't make you stay, but a half an hour of your day. You gonna go sit on 5 years a time because you don't want to spend a half an hour with me?
Some of them, I think some of them know that or feel that it's a setup. Instead of going through all the frustration of all that, let me just go in and do my time.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about you calling me.
And that's
me,
what he
you know,
said.
yeah.
That's what he said. He's like, I'm just gonna go sit on this time. And I was like, all right, knock yourself out.
So how many states actually have the death penalty?
Currently,
Yes. 30 states.
it was a good
Right.
amount.
So that was the stat from 30 out of the 50.
yeah.
Wait, no. 30 states. 26 had prisoners on death row. Okay, so 30 states. But there's also federal death penalty
Okay.
as well. So last person I remember, now I say remember, last person I can recall that got executed was Timothy McVeigh.
Oh,
Oklahoma
yeah.
bomber.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think I would have had any problems saying death penalty for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Timothy
No,
LaVey.
I don't know.
So he took the was it a truck? Mm-hmm. Had filled it with fertilizer and stuff like that, and actually
a bomb, pretty much.
made a big, huge bomb out of it and blew
With fertilizers?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The terrorists use that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And blew up a building. It didn't take the whole building down, but it killed a lot of people.
The whole front face off of that building.
Yeah.
And
No, I think it was a daycare that was
it
attached
was
to
a
it, too.
daycare in there. The kids died. It was horrible. And what was the reason? Like I never could recall.
He was a former military guy. I think he was an Army guy, but I think it was anti-government sentiment of some sorts. You know, a lot of them you get that who think they have too much government overreach.
Okay, you can hate the government, but you don't have to kill me. I ain't do nothing to you.
Or they might even use it as revenge for something that happened in another, say Waco. I've heard
Waco.
Waco.
Yep.
Like
a lot
that.
of people had some issues with Waco and wanted to do revenge for that. Yeah.
You know which state have conducted the most executions?
I'm gonna say Texas.
Texas. Let me see. What does it say?
Texas or Florida?
He says
one of those states.
It says Texas and the federal government accounted for 6 of 2021's 11 executions. Texas accounted for 38% of all executions from 1977 to 2021.
Don't do shit
2021?
in Texas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
They not playing.
Now, California had the most people on death row in 2020, but
I was surprised at that.
well, because they got a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess statistically, if you do the amount of people based on. I really was kind of surprised at that.
But the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, who I actually liked for president,
Right.
Put a moratorium on capital punishment in 2019. So
Okay.
that's interesting.
Didn't you say you had some reactions to the question
For the
that you
social
would
media?
like to read?
Oh, yeah, this is all right. This is from the social media. What was it? Let me find it real quick. But they had the social media.
From the question of the day.
Question of the day, are you for or against? I did a poll. And let me see. I post so much. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Oh, my goodness.
Especially football season.
Oh, my goodness. Were you just, bragging to everybody?
No, I won't do that because I don't want it coming back on my team. All right, so here's some of the comments. We had 32 replies. Miss Lee says she's very much against it. I asked why. She says because in the word, it says that thou shalt not kill.
Okay.
And not God. She says God has the last say. Okay.
I agree.
T-Bear, well, we're going to talk about that one too. T-Bear says nobody should play God. Nobody got room to judge anybody. And I'm going to say, my reply to that was, I said, but don't we all get judged in public opinion in the courtroom?
Absolutely.
Et cetera, right? She says, but who cast the first stone? If you point one finger, it's 10 pointing back at you.
She can't add. That math ain't mathing. You point one finger, how 10 coming back?
Yeah. Bernadette says she's very much for the death penalty. Sonia says she's against the death penalty. She says, I believe in rehabilitation.
That's a lovely sentiment. And I wish that jail
did
that, but they don't.
Right.
They don't.
Well, she says, I believe in rehabilitation and repentance. I believe most, not all, criminals can change for the better. Not only am I against the death penalty, I think we should invest more in rehabilitation. Incarceration shouldn't be a time to sit and rot or worse. Learn to be a better criminal, which is technically what they do. Criminal university. Yeah. Right. As someone who hopes all people will accept God's forgiveness and grace, I see the death penalty as a mechanism that might eliminate the time a person might have needed to face themselves and their demons to turn to God. Okay.
I really wish there was more. People used to be angry that prisons could get their GED or that they could go to college, and people are just like, that is god awful. I can't afford to send my child to college, and I'm just like, that is going to make them a better person when they come home.
And the fit, you have to have them fit. You can't put them back in the same. Actually, you'd be worse off.
Right. Like, give them a skill. They would be a better person, and maybe they're not kicking your door in because they have some knowledge and can get a job now.
Doc Bolly says,
but nobody wants to.
He says yes with
nobody
an
wants
explanation.
to employ.
Right. That's a whole setup too.
Arrested, prosecuted, and convicted a murdered defendant. Okay, so he's for anybody who commits murder.
Right.
Like say something like he cut the head off of his victim, in prison he killed a cellmate or later attacked a jail guard. He says, at what point do you weigh the life of others over this one individual? So I definitely get that part too. And he says, I believe serial murderers or serial spree, well, I say serial spree, murderers should be an exception. So boom. Percival, he says, yes, because they have rapists and pedos.
Okay.
In the world. Okay, so not just for murderers, he said rapists and pedophiles.
Right.
Now, Nikki's kind of along what you said. Nikki says, I would if justice was actually blind, which means that neither the judge or jury could see the defendant. They would be in another room and their voice would be disguised. Also, you can't bring up non-violent or non-proven violent incidents from their past. So she's saying make them totally, you can't see them, you can't hear them.
So that means their family can't be in the court.
Right. It's totally blind. That's different.
That is different. Yeah. That's interesting.
Because if people were just judged on the facts of the case without prejudice, then I would consider it. It says, considering the number of people put to death later to be found innocent, I just can't support it now.
Yep.
Okay. So she makes a very
valid point.
Okay. James says, nope. He says, I don't think it's our place. Our criminal justice system is not based on vengeance, but punishment and rehabilitation. Okay. Also, and most importantly to him, it's too easy for innocent people to be found guilty and convicted.
Yep.
If someone is wrongfully convicted and serves 10, 20, or even 30 years, as cruel and horrible as that may be, they can get released and some kind of compensation can be made. And I don't think there's not enough compensation for that, but you can say you can get redeemed.
Yeah.
If that innocent person is executed, and I'm sure it's happened, there is no kind of recompense or release.
Yeah,
that's true.
Then what you gonna do?
You're right.
Right. Say, I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, that we put your kid we killed your child.
My fault, man.
Right. My bad. Like, what are you gonna do?
Robin says, I'm highly against it. However, I do believe there should be exceptions. Okay, which is, I think most people are saying it. Repeated offenders that clearly aren't a one-time offender and are clearly dangerous to society represent the exception. I wouldn't want to be the one responsible for making that decision, but I do believe it.
You got to take some responsibility in that.
So I'm kind of more leaning towards what she said. I don't care about being responsible for making that decision, but somebody who's constantly doing this stuff, or even once, if you have like no remorse, and then I think you should also look at a person's background and their mental history,
and
stuff like that.
The situation, the environment, and the situation that gets them in trouble in the first place, and then you release them back into that same environment, and then you put all the restrictions of probation, and you got to get a job, and none of those things happen for you, and now you're a repeat offender.
Right. Vicky says, depends on the crime. I do believe any heinous crime against a child should be punished by death. Some don't deserve to live amongst us.
Go ahead, Miss Vicky. I'm scared of her.
And Dawn, she says, yes, for heinous crimes committed. What's considered a heinous crime? What do you think? Like,
well, a crime against a child. Sandy Hook.
For sure.
All of those kind of things. Columbine, like all of those kind of things. It is just time. It's just let them go. There's no reason why you should still be here.
Diana says, no, never. Too many innocent people are being unalived. Let the guilty people live and suffer to the end.
Unalived.
That's right.
That is a word.
People use that instead of saying the actual death or stuff like that on social media for fear of maybe flagging the post or stuff like that. Okay. Yes.
Is that like the unhoused? Like they don't say homeless people anymore. They say unhoused.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
But so
they don't unalive me.
Yeah, please don't unalive me.
So as far as the poll goes, most of the people who did the poll said undecided. Then some said supported it, and the least amount said I do not support it.
Okay. The least amount said
the least
I do
amount.
not. Okay.
Right. So
it's hard. It's a sticky wicket, as they would say. It's hard to say.
Muhammad says the record of our justice system is biased.
Facts.
Powerful lawyers can sway the arms of justice in favor of those who can afford them, and the poor are left hanging. No pun intended.
Facts.
How many?
Literally.
How many rich criminals have ever been put in a death row situation? I can't think of any.
I can't either.
Okay, it's a dismal record when you see so many disproportionately from the minorities. Right, we pulled it out. Who were acquitted after years of incarceration and awaiting execution.
The exonerated 5, the Central Park.
Yeah.
And if Donald Trump had his way, he would have executed them immediately. Who was the guy recently who killed? Did he kill his son and his wife? Very rich. Murdoch?
That's right, from South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So, killed his son, killed his wife.
And they think that it might be some more,
right?
You know, in on that property somewhere, but that I don't think that's a clear cut.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it was as clear cut as it should have been to say death penalty.
Why?
Yeah, because when I say death penalty, I mean like Jeffrey Dahmer had people in his refrigerator.
Yeah.
You know, or they got him on video or something along those lines. You didn't hear about that? Yeah, he was eating. Yeah, he was meeting men, taking them home to his apartment, homosexuals.
Yeah, right.
And killing them and eating them, and then storing some of the parts in his refrigerator.
Yeah,
for future use.
Yeah, I guess maybe he was gonna make stew later.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is. I mean, clearly he was not well.
Right.
And that's another thing. Like, are you mentally?
So a lot of people just try to claim that they're not okay.
Not really responsible,
right.
Yeah. But I think at some point, some things you gotta, I don't care what you say or do, some things you gotta have a mental issue to do the things you do.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, you sitting there and, you know, you actually chewing on a finger.
Right, absolutely.
You know, like the guy, was it Vegas or whatever?
She is laughing, but it's true.
Yeah.
Chew on a finger.
Yeah.
He was.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
But yeah, this is a deep topic, and I think
really is.
It is. I don't think there's any, right or wrong answer. It seems like people are, I won't say evenly split, but the people who are definitely against it was more vocal.
Yeah, I can understand that.
The poll actually would just put click a button or whatever.
Right.
Well, people for will not want to say, so people don't judge and be like, oh no, they tell you're, or maybe for a debate or something like that. Like, oh, people keep going back and forth to say, oh, so you're for it, blah blah blah, and everybody's so.
And then
it's easier to say.
Most people did bring up the wrongful convictions, right? So that was, how do you address that?
Yeah.
You can't.
Right, you can't.
Some of the things that cost. Some studies suggest that the death penalty is more expensive than life imprisonment. I don't see how.
I don't either, but okay.
But what, the electric bill?
That was just wrong. Too soon.
Hey,
Too soon. That was just wrong.
And then you got to consider also the victims' families, and do you consider public opinion?
What do you mean?
Like, say if you have a case.
It's a big case,
like an OJ
news.
case. Yeah. Do you consider? And you know how they always do the polls, and people are saying he needs to. Do you consider that?
No. Okay. I think it should be whatever's happening in that court.
Right.
Room. I don't think you should take public opinion
because that's going on emotions, and they didn't get everything. Yeah.
And like we just said, if we went by public opinion, listening to Donald Trump, those men would have young boys, because they were young boys at the time, would have been killed. And clearly, it came out later that they were not guilty. All 5 of them.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we can never get a right-wrong answer on this.
Now, do you think education plays a part in that?
No. I do.
Because
all right, you say yes.
I say yes.
Okay.
Well, I say yes because, like, normally, people who are highly educated or somewhat educated are going to move in a different circle.
Okay.
And are going to do things differently and maybe achieve things differently and not possibly be in a position to have to commit a crime.
Okay.
So I think it may. I'll say that. I think it may because
correct.
there's some people out there who are brilliant, and Ted Bundy
Oh,
was
yeah.
absolutely brilliant, you know, but he was going around killing young girls.
Right.
So I think at some point, education makes a difference.
And you said,
Well, I said no because it depends on who you are. I feel like it just depends on who you are. You might be, sometimes you use your intelligence for evil
Bad
things,
things,
bad
right.
things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it really matters. That it matters to, I think it just depends on your morals or your, morals more than education.
okay. So I had a statistic here. I hope I still have it about the education of. I can't find it. All right, here you go. Death row inmates have lower educational attainment than the rest of the country. Okay, so
Oh, really?
yeah. So they looked at the share of death row inmates by grade. I guess what they completed.
Mm-hmm.
So they had 11. This is high. 11.6% 8th grade or less.
That would be like middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How you stop going to school in middle school?
Yeah.
Your parents.
so their share is 3% of the overall.
Right.
You know? And then there was from 9th to 11th grade, which is 34.9%.
Yikes.
They were 6.5% of the death row inmates. High school graduate represent 44% of the population and 27.84% of the death row inmates. So
Yeah.
it looks like the more education you get a higher percentage of it.
Wow.
And then any college, there's only 9.2% that has any college that's in there.
Right.
But they made up 62 Am I reading this wrong? Share of the referral.
So you saying the more education you have, the more
more
likely
points?
you're going to be
No,
on
I think
death
let's
row?
see. Share of overall population. Okay, so I can't believe this one. You mean to tell me 62.3% of the population had any college? I don't know if I could believe that one.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Okay, so I was actually reading it backwards.
Backwards. Mm-hmm.
So the more education you have,
The less likely you're going to commit a crime.
yes. No, that doesn't make sense either. Because this one's like,
Sorry, you're supposed to have your statistics straight before
but
we get
it's all right. So it says share of death row population. That's the blue part,
the
right?
blue, right?
So they're 9.2,
9%.
but it says share of overall population is 62 I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that 62% of the population
Had some
have
college.
college where the GED and the no, I don't believe that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at that and throw that out the window.
So what do you think? Do you think education plays a part in?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I think education plays a part in them going to jail
Right.
and actually being involved in criminal activity.
Right.
Which then leads to that,
Right.
the other
The
stuff.
possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like you're less likely to, you put some time into your education and you're less likely, like I said, to possibly be in that situation. But there's always, and there's always that small group of people who can't stop hanging around people who do things.
Right.
You've gone to school, you've got a decent job, you're educated, and you are moving in the right direction. But you have your friends over here who may be stuck in this position that you can't seem to let go of.
So you remember the guy, what's his name? He's from DC. He was a serial killer.
Sniper?
No, not in the. Well, he got the death penalty, right? But this is the guy. His character was in the movie Paid in Full.
I don't know.
He was offing people down. I forgot his name. I can't remember. But he killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Those are the cases that
Right.
should get the death penalty.
Right.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
but I don't know. Anyways, we at
Don't you put
social
that
media.
commercial on anymore.
No.
Don't do it.
They got to pay for that.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so some of the upcoming episodes we have is
Okay.
What was it? It was well, we'll let you know. I told no. What was we was going to do?
We still haven't done the movie review. We still haven't done.
That's right.
Deadpool or Wolverine.
Deadpool and
so
Wolverine, and we're
we'll
going
do
to have
that.
secret confessions.
Secret.
We have
Who's confessing?
that could be anything. It's not like how
It's
it
like
was before.
confessing.
You can confess. I'm gonna tell all your secrets. You can confess, or I'm gonna tell. And then we need a word of the day.
Let's pick something out of this shenanigans. That's not too morbid.
No, okay. That's
That's
I
all.
was going to use.
What were you gonna use?
I'll say electrified.
Oh no.
Parole. How about parole?
Pyro?
Parole.
Oh, parole.
Parole.
Yes.
Parole.
Parole. You want to use
Okay.
parole? All
Parole.
right. That's gonna be it. The word of the day is parole.
So the word of the day is parole. So remember, you guys, when you read this, make sure you get these things done, because at the end of the month, we're going to give our pre-gift.
Prize.
Exactly.
You get a prize.
The prize. So, and also, but I think our sponsors. We got sponsors.
We have sponsors.
We have sponsors.
No, that's
That's,
being
I hope
fancy and
not, I hope
schmancy.
it's not the insurance. Sponsor.
This program is sponsored by Galactic Insurance
Stop it! No.
for all your extraterrestrial needs. Okay,
Nobody's gonna take us seriously
And-
if you don't stop with that.
and we also have, excuse me, we have our. Oh my goodness!
Brain fart.
Yes.
He always has that. It's a normal thing, so it's not strange.
Is it an old person thing?
Yeah.
No, we have
A retiree thing.
Oh, there you go.
Pizza City
Pizza City.
and
Or is it City Pizza?
City Pizza. There you go. See, Pizza City, Pizza City, and we have the Purple Flip. Purple Flip.
Purple Flip.
Check them out, you guys. 6035 Liberty Road. And did we ever give the address to that one?
To Purple Flip?
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so yes, check out our sponsors, the Purple Flip at 9123 Reisterstown Road, Owings Mills, Maryland, and you can get that delicious smoothie and juices, and they had some other stuff too. Oh, what day was it? Saturdays, I think you can.
Oh,
get
they had the sandwich.
the burger.
Yeah, the veggie is.
It smelled. I haven't had it, but
Okay,
it smelled
okay.
delicious. My daughter, Miss Picky Eater, she loved it. So check them out, and thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I was listening to Darth Vader over there, just
Written in.
it's like,
Because I have a block to know. Hater.
all right.
Thank you, family, for listening to the latest episode of Hot Topics. As usual, listen, like, share, subscribe. Ta.
This is what I do.